Welcome to the B2B Legend Show by Oneflow. I'm Josephine, your host, and on this show we dive into the stories behind some of the legends in the B2B world. Each episode we chat with industry leaders to explore their journeys, challenges and insights. Today we have Heiberg here, founder of Ocean. We'll dive into his journey and discuss the differences of selling to the US versus the Nordics, challenges in entrepreneurship and the role of automation in B2B. Hello everyone, today we have Heiberg here, CEO and founder of Ocean.io. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Josephine. Great to be here. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. So what I wanted to do with our time today is really to get to know you, your career journey, the path you've been taken, all your lessons learned, all challenges. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds great. I'll expose you to my battle scars.
Awesome. That's what I want to get out of you today.
Exactly. There's a few out there.
Sounds good. So if you don't mind, it would be great if you could share a brief introduction, who you are and what you are doing at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Michael Heiberg, Dane by birth, but I haven't lived in Denmark for many, many, many years. I've had what you can call an international career, spanning US and Europe for the last 30 years. I'm an engineer by degree and electronics engineer by degree, but moved straight from engineering school into software and started to work with very sophisticated software in the military industry, the embedding that basically guides missiles. And moved from there into more administrative B2B software. And that's where I've been ever since. I'm CEO and founder of Ocean and been in this capacity for the last 7 years. We founded the company in 2017. We thought we had a unique business idea of introducing the concept of lookalikes, which was well known in the B2C space. The whole Facebook marketing and advertising campaigns are based on creating lookalike audiences. And the whole concept of lookalikes and introduced that into B2B. Turned out to be a very, very difficult endeavor, let's put it that way. It took us several years and many tries and many failures to finally in 2019 come up with the solution, which was basically built the whole thing on natural language processes, and that's basically AI, large language models. And if that sounds familiar, we did this in 2019. That's because that's exactly what OpenAI, ChatGPT, and the rest of the bunch is doing. And we were in there very early with this. So we built a very specific AI model for companies and only for companies and the people in those companies, and trained the entire model for that. So that's what we did very early on, and that allowed us today to have a dominant position in the space. Our main market is in the US. I've just been over there, came back over the weekend. San Francisco is the hotbed for Ocean. And a lot of the companies we see as partners in this space is using our AI directly within their application. And we have several, and Clay is probably one of the more famous one, but Ocean is doing extremely well. And we hit the market at the right time, but we also did spend quite a few years trying our feet early on. So, okay, so that's where we are.
And what was like the main inspiration of creating Ocean?
That I've always been in sales, and when you just close the customer, you always wished that you had an ability to find the next 10 or 20 lookalikes to that customer. Yeah. Because what you've done is you solved a very specific problem for a very specific customer. And the likelihood of the lookalikes to that customer would have identical problems and would recognize that if you have solved it for this customer, they would also like to engage with you to solve the same similar problems with them. That would that was basically the inspiring part. That it took its exit from the B2C was basically me starting to looking into the Facebook algorithms and how they started to really do very detailed profiling and how they did it and how they created the lookalikes based on those detailed profiling. And I was sitting and scratching my head and say, can we do this for B2B? Can we do it for companies? Basically profiling companies. And when we started to launch Ocean, it was everyone was talking about contact data. It was leads, lead generation. Everyone were talking about an email or talking about phone number because I need leads and I need as many of them. And in order to sort through all those leads, we hired an army of SDRs and BDRs and AEs to engage, and we start to measure based on engagement and not on efficiency. That has changed. Let's put it that way. The days of the SDRs are dead. It's all about automation. And what's going to come out of some interesting applications over the next months, years, is completely full line of automation for the entire top funnel. That's what we see. Everything from outreach, automated outreach based on the last close one, completely automated. That is what we see our customers are doing. And that's the reason that Ocean is having a sensational time, because we're the only one that can do that. You need a normalized database and you need AI to do it. And if you want to do it on corrupt data, it's not going to work. So that's why we are in a very fortunate position.
Yeah. And you did say that US is your main market, right? San
Absolutely.
Francisco
Absolutely.
specifically.
Yeah, a lot of the partners we have for our API. Our API is basically the way we push our technology out into our partners. Is San Francisco, New York, or San Francisco, but mainly San Francisco. There's a lot of very, very interesting AI companies coming up in that area. Hockey Stack, Pasana, Get Cargo is really interesting, and they are all focusing on building these highly automated no-code applications for SaaS B2B companies, so they can automate the entire go-to-market interaction. Instead of having SDRs building lists and having them sending out emails and using email sequencing and everything else, this is all done completely automated based on the companies they want to engage with.
Yeah, I feel like automation is a very hot topic, has been that for a while through like all fields.
But we don't see that many European companies coming up with it. It's like if I look to Denmark, I haven't seen any company in Denmark looking at automation. If I look to the Nordics, and I'm part of several networks here in the Nordics, I don't see any companies really starting to look into automation. So it is so far. There's quite a few interesting things going on in Paris right now. Get Cargo is one of them. They are out of Paris and San Francisco. And for some, it might be controversial what I'm saying, but for many years, Sweden was ahead in the B2B space. I see Paris right now move very fast, very fast. AE, I don't see any single AE company out of Sweden right now, not a single. And whereas Paris, obviously France, but Paris is moving fast. Berlin is moving fast. Denmark is not to be proud of. We have few here, but it's at least we have some. Yeah, at least we have some. But it's Europe is way beyond it. Spending quite a bit of time in San Francisco. It's interesting. It is interesting to see what's happening over there.
Yeah. I also want to dig deeper into, you have had this international background in your career. So what would you say is kind of the biggest differences in kind of selling, if we would compare maybe Nordics against the US, what is like the biggest things that people have to think about if they would like to expand to that market?
The Nordics and very specifically Denmark, but the Nordics, we have a tendency of looking for the holes in the cheese. Okay, we're looking for what the thing cannot do for us. There's going to be a mistake. There's going to be something that's not working. The Americans are looking for the opportunity. They're looking for what this thing can do for me. Yeah. How can I be better utilizing this thing? Yeah. And if it ticks off on that criteria, they will buy. Whereas we Nordics are much more skeptical. It's a little bit too good to be true. And you have to prove far more. And that is why, the most advanced customers we have, they are clearly out of the US. And, we obviously have Nordic customers like Tele2 and others, but it's like the US customers are significantly bigger and significantly embracing us to be on the forefront of this new wave of automation in a more significant way.
Yeah. So a lot about kind of the mindset.
Completely different. Do you know what's most interesting? All the companies we actually are meeting in the US on their partner side, the founders, none of them are American. Okay. They are very interesting. They are French, they are Turkish, they are from all over the world, gathered into San Francisco to build companies in the US, but they're not necessarily Americans.
No.
But they gather into the space because that's where the action is. So they get the best of the world in there. And it's really amazing to, and we just, after spending several weeks, it's like, did we meet any Americans? we all had some sort of accent in the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's interesting.
That is actually very interesting. Yeah.
I also want to go back to kind of just how has it been for you, this journey of becoming an entrepreneur, and what are the biggest challenges that you have stumbled upon, and how did you overcome them? Do you have any kind of concrete tips in that regard?
Oh, I think it's when I started out in this, it was very new. I came from the big companies. I came from SAP. I came from Oracle. I came from the really big. And then I was very, very fortunate that my manager at Oracle, an American called Greg Brady, I respect tremendously. He taught me a lot. And he joined a company out in Dallas, Texas, and allowed me the opportunity to join a company very early on. I think our employee number 12 or 14 or something like that. And being able there to build something ground up. They had customers, but it wasn't that many. And being out there in front of an opportunity of building something, I wasn't in the founding team because, I came in and I was in the operations sales team, but it was an amazing experience. And once you have tried that and taken that entire ride to create $1 billion company, and you have that kind of in your belt and say, I done it, it becomes addictive. You'll never go back into the big ones. One of my old friends from those days actually chose. We were we were both in Oracle. Very funny enough, he ended up at being the CEO for Adidas worldwide. Casper, you're probably aware of him. And him and I basically started off from the same center. Yeah. He went the corporate way, very successful, probably the most successful Danish career. Whereas I chose the entrepreneurial way. And the more complex the product, the better. For him, it was the more simple the product. It was about pushing everything from computers to shoes. Okay, it was about pushing product. Where for me, it was about inventing something. And it's really what triggers you. And I cannot tell what is best, but I can only tell you what was best for me. And that is clearly the sophistication of building something from scratch. Take it to the market and create a go-to-market strategy uniquely fitting that particular product you have. That has been the best experience I've had, and that basically allowed me to do this again and again and again and again. And Ocean is probably going to be the last time. I promise. I promised myself that I'm not going to do it again because it's hard. It's damn hard. But it's fun.
Yeah.
My God, it's fun.
So now that we have an overview of your career, I really want to kind of dig into those specific moments that you feel extra proud about. We really felt like I made it.
Yeah, I've been being part of the first IPO in the company I mentioned previously. Being part of that IPO was really the first time I made it. Okay, I made it. That is an amazing feeling of doing an IPO and being one of their key team members in being the whole way for that IPO. I must say that was a really one of those. And the next time was actually 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. We have been working very, very, very hard on our model. And we have tried to describe what we did to many, including investors and customers. What is it we really do? And we tried on our landing page, and we tried to use all kinds of simplistic ways of doing it, but failed. We really failed. And then, as a year and a half ago, November, a company called OpenAI released ChatGPT. And overnight, we didn't have to explain anything. Everyone got it because they have used ChatGPT. They fully understood what we did. They understood contextual understanding of what a company does. And that we were an LLM for B2B, dedicated for B2B, was basically for them something they could understand. And that was for us a defining moment. We didn't have to explain much anymore. We just have to allow them through a product-led growth model into and try it out themselves. Go in, try it out. And that was the biggest move the best move we ever done. And that is the foundation of the entire growth model right now. There's no barriers to entry. Just go in, do it. Yeah. And see for yourself, because you're going to see something you've never seen before. And you can't convince people of that. You need to show it to them. And that is, and we haven't looked back. We haven't looked back. It's been on a growth scale ever since. And then half a year ago, we decided to start to, again, took inspiration from OpenAI. I said, okay, we will allow the competition, which we have done, to get access to our AI technology through an API. And that has been very successful, wildly successful. And that game is just starting now. So
going great.
It's fun.
Good to hear. Yeah, and to kind of wrap up this session, I have some final questions. So the first is, where do you see yourself and Ocean in a few years, 2 to 3 years?
That's Josephine, that's a very good question. We have built something quite unique. And I'll be damned if I do not have the ambition to make this part of the entire automation move. We have that opportunity. That's what we want to change the way people engage with the market. We want to automate it for them. And so far, we have been able to go very, very deep into that automation. And that whole category of applications is being defined right now and over the next 12 to 18 to 24 months. And we want to be at the top of that. We want to be the AI that enables every single of these great companies in automation that basically using our AI to become a useful and very beneficial value add to a go-to-market strategy for any given B2B company out there. So that is our ambition. I have no intent of selling Ocean just right off the bat. Why should we do that? We are riding a wave, and we have some cool technology that wants to be integrated into the next big thing. So let's see. But clearly, we have a unique opportunity, and we are doing our best to maximize it.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to seeing it. And who do you learn from?
Everyone. You have to understand, I'm on the little older side of the rest of the organization here. And for me, that is a very, very welcoming challenge, because my way is not necessarily the right way. And being able to constantly change and constantly adapt and constantly learn is a gift I want to pass on to my next one. But I love it. I love it. I'm not sitting here and say, yeah, I did this 20 years ago. No. 20 years ago, we did it very different. And it was good for those days, but how we do it now, PLG, how we implemented the entire PLG model and everything else, it didn't exist 3-5 years ago. So it's, keep yourself on your toes and keep on running. That's the best advice I can give. Be forever a sponge.
Yeah. Everything is always changing, so it's continuously
completely changing. And yesterday is yesterday. Have to look forward. Yeah.
For sure, I agree. Yeah. And for the last question, who would you like to see in the next episode?
There's a couple of very interesting companies out there. Onemondo is one of them. Michael Carlson from Onemondo is doing amazing things within their IoT business, and I have great respect for him. So love to see him in this form. Yeah. He's always a little media shy, so get him up here, get him in here.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Michael, for learning and on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to the show to not miss future episodes. See you in the next one.